Hello, it's Steve Yorty. I'm going to talk today about improving um, electrical pickup for these HO scale model engines for DCC systems, and it's very critical you have good electrical continuity from the track, in this case through the left side wheels of the tender into the decoder, and then the right side wheels of the locomotive. So here are two locomotives I just did over the weekend. I've actually done a few of them. I'll start with this Bachmann I-10 280. Now, I've showed this before. This has been remotored with a Bowser chassis, the entire frame, drive wheels, motor, etc. Cylinders are all from Bowser, as are the tender wheels. So that's to upgrade the model, but unfortunately, very weak tender pickup caused it to run extremely poorly, start and stopped all the time, etc. So it seems to me that the issue were the tender pickups, because the way the locomotive is, and this is the case with many older models, even brass ones, you're talking about the electricity going into the left side of the wheels, through the axles to the truck frame, and then that bears against the bottom of the tender floor. And all those are somewhat weak points of electrical contact. So the best way to improve it is to have direct electrical current going directly into the decoder without having to rely on those aforementioned bearing surfaces. So this one I came up with on my own. I went to Hobby Lobby. I purchased some long brass tubing, the inside diameter just slightly larger than the diameter of the tender truck axles. I then cut it, as you can see here, and slid one of the wheels off. Actually, all four of the wheels got slid off. I slid the brass tubing over the axle and reassembled the wheel sets. I then took a scrap piece of brass and soldered the assembly together. So I made a solder joint on each of the brass axle bearings that I fabricated, and that just sits fairly loosely on the axles. It's not attached to the trucks at all. And then I soldered a wire to that bridge piece of brass, and the wire goes directly up into the decoder from each wheel. And that gives you a very large bearing surface, because the entire axle obviously is powered. And I think that's going to do the trick. And it did not take me more than maybe an hour to do this project. I've seen other people use bronze wire and different things, but I feel like this might be a little sturdier and a little more forgiving, and gives you a larger electrical contact surface. So I'm going to see how that works. If this works, as I expected it will, and I've sort of tested it, I'm going to, any of my older Bowser locomotives, and I have a number of them, particularly Pensy locomotives, I'm going to use this method to see if I can't get them to run fine. And the motor actually runs very smoothly, so I think that should do it for this locomotive. And as I say, those are nice looking models, even though the chassis on them is a plastic. They're pretty well proportioned. They have a fair amount of detail. I think that's gonna render itself some good service, I'm hoping. So I'm going to set number 2019 to the side and talk about Mantua. Mantua was a major producer of steam locomotives, and this one is an example. This is a consolidation Camelback, number 1109. Not an exact replica, but it looks pretty good. This particular one that I have, I've replaced the stock motor with a can motor, and it runs like silk. I mean, very smooth. Same problem though. These had really lousy pressed metal tender trucks. So in this case, I did something actually a little easier as I purchased on the internet from, I think it's Athern. These are tender trucks you can purchase, pickup ones that come just as you see them here. They have a brass tab on the bottom with a wire on each one. And I more or less took the old ones off, put these ones on, made sure they fit properly, and then I drilled a hole up through the bottom of the tender and basically wired each one directly into the decoder. And now there's absolutely no pickup issues at all. I think that's going to solve the issue for the pickup for these Mantua models, and I may do that on some other ones. I just think that the quality of the trucks that come with the existing model are too low to really modify effectively, though I probably could use that brass tube method I showed. So I'm going to do some more of these over the next several days, try to get all these ones running, hopefully as good and reliably as some of the higher quality models like the Broadway Limited and so on. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, just some foods for thought. Thank you.